like to invite Mr. Gopal Anand and all our guest speakers to start with discussion on technology adoption to scale up manufacturing.
Thank you, Darshana. Welcome you all, the panelists. We had very interesting insights from our distinguished panelists, touching various aspects to scalability. So there is a general open question to you all. So when you talk about the scalability, when you scale up, what manufacturing practices can be impacted in specific areas of applications? To start with, we will want to know the views of Mr. Udaynarayan.
See, scalability, the question is around scalability, right? You're asking about scalability and
manufacturing practices.
sure. See, I think what's important today is that for scale, in manufacturing, you have to make sure that the culture, the overall technology, I just don't think you can buy technology and make sure that, you have to get the buy-in from your entire team. What we have noticed is, and what I have seen is, there are many, many new startups that have the technology, but they are never able to get scalability because the buy-in is not there from the team. Absolutely, this is something that is of the need of the hour. This is something that is going to require, a change in, our workforce. It's going to change in our skill base, but it is something that has to happen. And I think, the more we accept it, the more we move towards it, the better it is.
That's quite a deeper insights you have touched. Mr. Nagas Hanumaya, we want to know your views, please.
So if you look at the scalability challenges, something works for me it doesn't mean that it works for you. The reason is the first, particularly in that, if you look at an MSME, the adaptability of the technology so largely depends on their HR, right? Because often they don't have capacity to absorb the technology. So then naturally what will happen is they invested, but that investment doesn't yield to anything. Say for example, let us assume I will take an industry 4. So now all of us run behind in adopting industry 4. Industry 4 is adopted in a cake manufacturing. It can be adopted in a kitchen. It can be adopted in a company who makes spacecrafts. So now question is, if MSME wanted to adopt technology, because his focus is a different. Let us assume there is a company which is making job shops, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is industry 4 adoption, and the company like, say for example, let us take ABB, or that for that matter, the company, Indian company, some AS groups or somebody who makes machine tools. The focus is entirely different. Say for example, if I am a job shop, I always interested to adopt industry 4 technology if my machining time of say milling machine or turning machine would enhance by 10% with the digitization. Possibly I'm interested to do it. But I will not go with, I will not be even care being an MSME, whatever you are trending and all you do, right? This I can do it much affordable price than the digitization does. Right? I think that is all largely depends on the scalability and adaptability of the advanced technology. You look at what you want, where you want, that is more specifically defined. In many cases, we fail there. And second aspect of this technology is the maturity level. Because many advanced technologies are developed parallelly, the technologies are not mature. So the question is, if not matured, can you able to customize to your requirement? But often the companies, many of the Indian small companies can't do this. So I think these are few things. One is that, are you prepared? Then second is, are your ecosystem enables you? So then only I think technology adaptation, the real benefit could be derived.
Thank you very much for sharing your views, Mr. Nagarnaya. What are your views, Mr. Surendra, when
So,
we talk about the scalability challenges in manufacturing practices?
I mean, the scalability, of course, is need of the hour. We need to upgrade our assets to a new level where we can really produce and serve our customers. But here, the challenge is there are brownfields already running on your system. So somehow you want to integrate it with your new asset base, and there is always a challenge how you handshake it, how you really take your machines towards high efficiency areas. Second challenge can be as my fellow speaker spoke about, how your people are trained on various technologies, how they are adapting to it, whether they are in a position to manage it, because there are so many new technologies. Those are really critical in terms of how they should be handled, how they should be managed, and then if we are ready for it or not. So that becomes also a point when we are going for adaptability and going for scalability.
Thank you for sharing your points, Mr. Surendra. What are your views, Mr. Ashok?
Yes, I think means from the industry perspective and being a practitioner in the industry, I think there are two aspects of it. What I see, one is the demand side and one is the supply side. And the demand side and supply side, if we integrate, there are technologies available for integration of demand and supply side. To be more specific, when I say demand, I mean to say, for example, 4 C's. There needs to be carrier, content, connectivity, and commerce. At the end of the day, it has to make a business sense. Every industry can relate. Like when I say carrier in telecom, in the retail, it may mean a distribution channel. When I say content in telecom, into the retail or other industry, it will become a customer satisfaction. So the 4 C's of demand side needs to be integrated with 4 M's of the supply side, which is man, machine, material, and methods. A flare of technology is available to integrate these 4 C's with 4 M's. These are challenges, and at the same time, these are also the opportunities, right? With the technology today, which makes it feasible to do that. That's what I think. And
yes, Mr. Ashok, demand and supply side has to match together. That's a good thing. Mr. Uday, now coming to you. You were talking about the tech adoption in the EV manufacturing, and you also touched the supply chain and sustainable manufacturing. So with expected EV adoption rate, which is increasing, so what are your recommendations to scale up manufacturing while optimizing inventory for production efficiency?
So what I wanted to say was, the EV industry, has seen a rapid growth. We've been part of this over the last decade. When we first started, I would tell you most of the big boys and girls didn't believe that EV was going to be. I don't even know how many people on this group would have thought that EVs would succeed. There was even about 4 or 5 years ago, people were saying EV was a fad. I am seeing a significant, obviously, it takes time. We've got 3-wheelers already up to 52. 2-wheelers are going over the next 5 years. You'll see that up to 80%. You're seeing now. I think this rapid acceleration will be there. I think there was a lot of turmoil in terms of supply chains. There was an issue. You must have heard about it, but things have really, really turned the corner in the last 2 years. And I think this year and the next year, you are seeing supply chains come in much, much better. You are seeing supply of, and obviously, as the scale grew, pricing of batteries and powertrains are becoming even more efficient, are becoming even more competitive. And I feel the next 2 to 3 years, there is no, in the 2 and the 3, and to the commercial, we're working on 1-ton trucks and 3-ton trucks. There is no shadow of a doubt that the pricing and the total cost of ownership is going to clearly show that EV, and then, we're also working on hydrogen, many other technologies that we, and again, I think in India, the one most important point is, nobody cares about the environment. They say they do, but they don't. Everybody says, Meri jeb mein kya bacha? How do I save money? Then I take it. Because unfortunately, in our country, we really, we don't care about it, because if we did, the environment would not be where it is today. So you have to build products where people can save money, then they'll use it. But the total cost of ownership model is working in production, in using technology. I think today we have come up with multiple products where having a better technology reduces the cost. It doesn't mean the cost. I just came up with a passenger three-wheeler which is going to do 400 kilometers in a single charge. I mean, over a day. And I think the TCO model there, that the drivers of ICE as well as CNG, it blows them apart. So my thing is that we got to continually use technology. We got to use our production. And in terms of supply chain and in terms of inventory, look, I think the market 4 or 5 years ago in EV wasn't there. Today, it is, from my view, it is definitely on the rise. You're seeing enough a demand. I think quality has to be more emphasized. Service has to be more emphasized. But Rome wasn't built in one day. In India, we want to build Rome every day, or Taj Mahal was built in one day. So I think it takes time, but I think, and I'll also tell you, we owe a duty to this nation, to the future kids of our country, to leave a greener and cleaner country. I mean, we can't just not care about Mother Earth. And I mean, if we don't care about it, we're going to have an environmental issue. And let me tell you this clearly, we're going to have a severe water issue. You had it in Bangalore, it's happening in Delhi. And mark my words, over the next 4 or 5 years, the water situation is, so my point is that, you come back to, production, technology, supply chains, there has to be scale. And I think, we're all working towards that. I'll just have to say about 5:30, I have to leave because we're running a bit late, but I have another meeting. Yeah. So I'll have to leave by 5:30. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the perspectives you have shared just now, Mr. Udinaran. And thank you very much for being part. So coming to Mr. Surendra, what strategies or the business or governments should adopt to upskill the workforce to meet the demands of evolving technologies? Everybody was talking about the reskilling and upskilling.
People has to adapt the technology, how they should be knowledgeable enough to understand the technology. So one part we are continuously working on right from the education level. So there we are looking at the colleges. We are working with them very closely and really putting it in the curriculum. So that's one of the aspects what we are doing it. And good part is there are more and more deemed universities coming up. So they are free to really make their own curriculum. They are free to really stay closer to the industry requirements. And that is something very, very important. And from government point of view, there are institutions which they are coming up. And so that place where, that is the place where the frequency of changes of these curriculums on the government side, that can really change drastically. They can review every year, maybe, which is currently maybe 3 years. Also, second part is there has to be some incentives to industry if they are putting in money in terms of upskilling. There are incentives for R&Ds and for CSRs, but also the workforce enhancement and the new technology deployment. So those aspects can also be looked at from government side to use to encourage industries to really invest in the new technologies and training people. Yeah.
Government incentives are the need of the hour, Mr. Surendra. Coming to you, Mr. Ashok. With the digitization data, what advancement do you foresee in the IoT sensors for real-time performance monitoring?
I see a lot of opportunities here. I think if you see, for example, what we do at Geo, right? I think that's a real case, I'll tell you. We have integrated IoT in uplifting the lives of a normal farmers. Like we have developed sensors. So the integral part of IoT, what we have done at Geo platforms, is there needs to be IoT integral platforms, and then you have sensors. I can give you example. We have made IoT sensors for the grape, right, the grape orchards, right, in Nasik, which are connected to our platforms, and we have seen there is an immense productivity improvement for the grape, right, the growers. Same way, if you see cattle management into vegetation and electric, right? So we have developed cattle trackers, sensors, which are put on the cattle, and they are again connected to our platforms. And we have seen the productivity and the health management from that point of view. So what I'm saying, it is only limited by imagination. It plays a very important role in healthcare industry. It plays a very important role in agriculture industry. It plays a very important role in automobile industry. So any sector that you think, there are live examples today where people have been successfully able to integrate. Now, when we talk about EV, like they said, the supply side will primarily be dependent upon the demand side, which is based on the infrastructure for the charging of EVs. IoT plays a very important role there. How do we develop a swappable battery system? How these batteries are connected to an IoT platform where the users are able to swap them? So the sensors and platforms are the key for integrating of all of these IoT sensors together.
Thank you very much for sharing your views. Mr. Nagas Hanumaya, you were talking about the MSME industries and others. So my question is, how small manufacturers with limited resources can overcome challenges to adopt AI automation technology to scale up production?
See, if you look at the digitization ecosystem, so there are three major aspects one has to address in the Indian context. If you look at MSME, even there are many MSMEs are not even at 2.0, or they are in the transition of 2.0 to 3.0. Because we have a program funded by our ministry, so they have created a summer center. As a part of this, we had a lot of webinar interaction sessions with MSME. What did we learn from them is, see, these are all industry 4, digitization and all becomes a buzzword, because for them only two things: can I increase my productivity, or can I increase my quality of my output? So now question is, as I although in earlier comment also I mentioned, they don't look at the data acquisition, data processing, or digital trend mapping and all. This may not be more concerned about MSME. Yes, there are few companies are important, but it is not necessary. But at the same time, the technologies have become so affordable technology. Say for example, that we offer a service. Say for example, you have a machine. Let us take a lathe. So we developed an edge controller and also the customized solutions to map their temperature, their vibration signatures and all. You need to spend only 4,000 rupees. Cloud space, don't to have it your own. You can always rent it out. So then analytics, whether you can able to do it or you can get it done. Doing your even analytics at MSME is a bit tough because they can't retain the intellectual manpower there. But at the same time, it is not necessary. There are several service bureaus are getting emerged who would provide you the analytics if your data is accurate. I think that is what I said. Don't necessary to look into all and adopt the advanced technology. You identify your objective. Okay, I'm looking for some digitization, some solutions that brings me, or the productivity, the actual metal cutting of this machine X or Y is my objective. Then look at what solutions you can able to do. Or your solution is, okay, I will only look at the maintenance aspect. So which possibly it is difficult for the normal worker to do it. So then there is a solution providers are there. You can able to customize those solutions with a much affordable cost. But at the same time, if you look at ROI as a major objective, IIoT will not bring ROI unless you do what you want, what you're supposed to do.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, Mr. Naganvaya. Main thing is to go for the objective. What is your objective? Gentlemen, we had very interesting session and it was quite knowledge sharing. I would ask Darshana to close the session, please, now.
So before closing, we have a question from Mr. Surendra, which is how is attaining adaptability different from flexibility?
So there is a difference between adaptability and flexibility. So flexibility has a limited sense. So I can really use this 5 types of products with this machine. So my machine is flexible to handle this 5 different products. That's flexibility. But adaptability, when I talk about it, so my machine or my line is ready for today and it is ready also for tomorrow. So if there are changes in the product shape, product size, packaging, then my line is ready for that to adapt itself and serve it. So that is one aspect in terms of the product side. But if I want to really increase the stations from 1 to 2, so how easy it is, how easy it is for me to expand, keeping my current install base as it is and build on that. So that is another aspect of it. So that is adaptability from the line or machine point of view and product point of view. So that's where there is a major difference between the flexibility of line and adaptability of line.
Thank you, panelists, for exchanging your valuable thoughts on today's technology adoption to scale up manufacturing. We hope you have enjoyed the session thoroughly. Before wrapping up today's session, we thank our distinguished speakers, Mr. Ashok Agarwal, Dr. Naga Hanumaiya, Mr. Uday Narang, and Mr. Surendra Lavate. I would also like to thank Gopal Anand for taking this initiative. We request our delegates and viewers to stay connected with us on our social media handles. OEM Update magazine is available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also download our app from Google Play and App Store. With this, we want to announce the closing of today's session. Please stay tuned for more such sessions. Thank you and goodbye.